AITA for suing my neighbor after their kid trespassed and fell into my koi pond? Let me start with why this situation hits me so hard. When I was a kid, my grandfather and I used to visit this botanical garden near his house. It had a gorgeous koi pond, and we'd sit there for hours feeding the fish, watching them glide through the water. He'd tell me about how koi symbolize perseverance and how they swim upstream against the current like little warriors. When my grandfather passed away, it left a huge hole in my life. I wanted something to keep his memory alive, so I decided to build my own koi pond. It took years of saving up, learning about koi care, and planning, but eventually, I created my dream pond, a Japanese-style garden right in my backyard. The pond has it all: a beautiful bridge, flowing waterfalls, and plants that complement the tranquil vibe. The koi themselves are stunning: bright orange, shimmering white, deep black. Some of them were imported directly from Japan and cost more than my car. Maintaining the ecosystem is no small task, but it's worth every penny and every second of my time. About 6 months ago, my life took a turn when Karen moved in next door. I know the name is overused, but she fits the stereotype perfectly. Karen is the kind of neighbor who thinks the world revolves around her. She's loud, entitled, and always has an opinion on things that don't concern her. With her came her son, Timmy, 8M. At first, I thought Timmy was just a curious, playful kid. He'd occasionally wave at me through the fence while I worked on my garden. I didn't think much of it until the day I caught him standing on the bridge over my pond, throwing rocks into the water. I calmly walked over and said, "Hey buddy, you can't be here. This is private property." Timmy just looked at me, shrugged, and said, "But I want to see the fish." I walked him back to his house and explained the situation to Karen. "Karen?" She laughed. "Oh, Timmy loves animals. Don't worry, he's harmless." I told her as politely as I could that my pond isn't just a decoration. It's a delicate ecosystem that requires a lot of care. Karen brushed it off and said, "Boys will be boys." Over the next few months, this became a recurring issue. Timmy would climb over my fence, run around my yard, and try to interact with the pond. Once, I caught him dumping cereal into the water because he thought the koi would eat it. Another time, he tried to pet one of the fish by reaching into the pond. Each time, I went to Karen. Each time, she dismissed it. "He's just a kid. Relax, he's not hurting anyone," she'd say. I installed no trespassing signs on every side of my fence and locked my gates. I even set up security cameras because I was worried about what might happen if Timmy kept sneaking in. I told Karen in no uncertain terms that if it happened again, I'd have no choice but to involve the authorities. She rolled her eyes and said, "You're being dramatic. Last week, I had to run errands, so I wasn't home for a few hours. While I was out, Timmy decided it was a great idea to climb my 6-foot fence again. According to Karen, he wanted to feed the fish. This time, things went horribly wrong. Timmy slipped and fell into the pond, knocking over rocks, plants, and parts of the filtration system in the process. The fall stirred up debris, and the filtration system clogged, causing the water to turn murky. When I got home, Karen was waiting on my porch, furious. Timmy was sitting next to her, crying with a few scrapes on his knees. Karen started yelling at me the moment I stepped out of my car. "How could you let this happen? My son could have been seriously hurt." I was stunned. "Karen, your son wasn't supposed to be in my yard. I've told you a dozen times to keep him out." She shot back, "Well, you should have made your pond safer. What kind of person has a dangerous setup like this with kids around?" I couldn't believe what I was hearing. My private backyard, with its locked fence and clear signs, was suddenly my fault? When I went to check on the pond, my heart broke. Several of my koi were floating lifelessly on the surface, stressed to death by the chaos. Plants I'd spent years cultivating were uprooted, and the filtration system, a critical part of the pond, was beyond repair. I tried explaining to Karen just how much damage her son had caused, but she wouldn't hear it. Instead, she demanded I pay for Timmy's medical bills, which, by the way, were for nothing more than a couple of Band-Aids. I refused. That's when Karen flipped the script. She started bad-mouthing me to the entire neighborhood, calling me heartless and accusing me of endangering children. Suddenly, I was the villain for wanting to protect something I'd poured my heart and soul into. After thinking it over, I decided enough was enough. I filed a lawsuit against Karen to cover the damages. Over $5,000 for the koi, the filtration system, and the restoration of the pond. Of course, Karen didn't take this well. She's been going around the neighborhood telling anyone who'll listen that I'm suing her because her son had an accident. She conveniently leaves out the part where Timmy trespassed multiple times despite repeated warnings. Some neighbors have sided with her, saying, "He's just a kid." Others agree that Karen needs to take responsibility. My friends are split too. Some think I'm being too harsh, while others believe this is the only way Karen will learn to parent her child. For me, this isn't just about the money. It's about principle. My koi pond isn't just a hobby. It's a deeply personal project that represents years of hard work and a connection to my late grandfather. To have it destroyed because someone didn't want to set boundaries for their kid, it feels like a punch in the gut. I didn't want to go down the legal route, but what else could I do? Karen refuses to take responsibility, and I can't let this slide. If I let her walk all over me now, what's to stop her from letting Timmy destroy someone else's property in the future? So, Reddit, AITA for suing my neighbor after her kid trespassed and ruined something so precious to me? Or should I have let it go because, as Karen loves to say, boys will be boys?